Good morning, YouTube people. Here's Roxy. Say hi, Roxy. Hi, Roxy. Hi, Roxy. No, she doesn't talk yet. She's only 3 months old. She's very tiny. She's a Pacific parrotlet. So, good morning. This is Music Therapy Labs. We're doing ukuleles with parrots this morning. Just kidding. So, I wanted to catch up on my VEDAs. So, here's my VEDA for Monday on Wednesday morning, early here. It's about 8 o'clock. My significant other just left for work, and I've got a bunch of work to do today. I've had a bunch of work in the last few days as well, but catching up with stuff here on the apartments that I manage. But at the same time, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing over here? Did you go pooping on my hand? She did. Right there. Yuck. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. That's nasty. That's nasty. Anyway, so I wanted to do a quick vlog here, a little heartfelt chat in the morning. So I don't know how many of you who have this hobby or doing music or doing YouTube know how this feels, but I'm sure you do. Because being a musician, which down to my soul, that's what I feel I am. I'm a creative. I've always been pretty good in school. If I've been interested in whatever education was offered me, if it held my interest, I was an A student. If I did not have any interest, I got by, right? I just did what I had to suffer through the class or whatever it was that I was being taught. But whatever was something that I was interested in, I aced that stuff. And I think that's true with most people, unless they have some deficiency, which maybe all of us have in some way or another. Maybe I'm OCD or something, I don't know. I can be compulsive. Pedals. Thanks, Henning. It's your fault. Not really, but I'm glad that he got me into this. But I've always had a dream or a deep-seated feeling need to do something with music. And what I mean by do something with music, well, obviously to produce the music that I feel that's in my head or coming through me, or however you want to describe music. Steve Vai recently on Tone Talk described how music is out there. It's the in the ether kind of thing that you have a moment here and there of grasping, and then you better get it down. Like I mentioned in an earlier vlog, you better get it down in some form, like he does or I do, either on your phone or whatever. There are even more complex ways of doing it, but the simple way is, before you lose it, do the simple way and just hum it or get it down into your phone or whatever. Like he mentioned, there'll be 1,000 ideas, and one out of those 1,000 might become some kind of a hit, if you want to call that a hit, something that other people are really interested in. Roxy, why don't you hang out on my shoulder here? Come on, go. There you go. She's going to start biting me, I can tell. Yep. So Roxy here is another form of therapy. It's called pet therapy or animal therapy. Anyhow, yeah, music. I'm a musician at heart. I've always been a creative at heart. I was always very good in drawing and picture art, or whatever you want to call it, drawing and painting and all that. I've always won first place in everything I've done. Whenever I was in a contest, I built models of things from scratch. I built a Santa Maria out of balsa wood I bought at the paint store, and used threads that my mom had in her sewing machine to make the sails and all this stuff. And that was in 8th grade. No, 7th grade? 7th grade, I think. It could have been 8th grade, but I think it was 7th grade. I built the Santa Maria for Columbus Day thing at the school that we were going to, and I won first prize and a $25 banknote from this bank they put my boat on display at the bank, and they wouldn't give it back to me. Nobody wanted to believe me that I built that out of a picture literally this big in an encyclopedia. So, it was my own design, basically looking at a picture. And yeah, creatives like myself, I think we have a lot harder time in life when it comes to career, finding that career that's, so important. And I think it is important. Obviously, money is important, and being able to sustain and pay for your own way is important. I haven't always been able to do that. I've often borrowed quite a bit of money over the years. Thankfully, most of the stuff that's over here that I've bought in over the last, say, 7, 8 years, hey, I bought. You're getting stuck. I bought through some of these online, companies like Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, AMS, American Music Supply, Zounds, and I've gotten lucky that I've been able to manage to pay these payments at no interest. So I'm basically buying these things interest free, paying them over time, and then I could sell them. I try to buy things. If I buy new, I try to buy things that are really on super deep discounts, so 40% off or more. The only thing that I probably could say that I didn't get that kind of discount on was that Flying V right there. But that's because it's a limited edition, and I think it'll be worth more over time. Even though it's an Epiphone, it's a nice guitar. And I've seen it being sold for more than I paid for it online. So, I always bargain like good old Steve from Boston, and also, Lewis of the Tone King, Lewis will tell you can find deals, you can find bargains. Americans have the blessing, in a sense, if you want to call it that, or maybe you can call it something else, privilege, I don't know, of having our I guess products available that we're interested in buying. It's the market's saturated with products here, compared to a lot of places in the world. We have so much more availability. We're retailed out to the max, brick and mortar and, online. I remember reading a book about, deflation and how that can happen. And, the Japanese went through that too. Bottom line is that, when you have a strong economy, or when you're pouring a lot of work into products and into your economy, there's going to be a lot of benefit that comes out of that. And Americans are hardworking people. I've noticed that. I mean, it may not always be for the good. We have a lot of stress and a lot of other problems, overweight, problems, obesity. I mean, people are eating because they're stressed, and that's why they're eating, to make themselves feel good. You could find other ways to feel good, and I try to do music as a way to help people feel better and feel good and move on, get through the day, do whatever you need to do to get through it. So for me, this endeavor here is not just some foolish hobby of mine. It may seem like that to some, but a little over 10 years ago, when the market fell apart and I was working at a .com thinking, oh, I'm going to be part of this IPO of this company and blah, 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 blah. And I was killing it in sales and this and that, and then it all just fell apart. And who walked away with all the money? The owners of these companies, the people who, always find a way to stay on top because they just do what they do. I don't want to get into finger pointing, but, they do what they do to be who they are. And a lot of it's a bunch of baloney. And a lot of con men out there conning people. But the bottom line is, I got tired of working in industries where I'm not able to do the right thing by people. So I left. I left the mortgage industry. I left that other, .com industry. I didn't find that much interest going back into it when it started to get hot again. I thought about it a few times, and even going back into the mortgage industry, I thought about it a few times. But the bottom line is that I decided to go back to school and study psychology, because I kept asking myself, I have, maybe halfway through my life here. I was about 43 years old. And I'm about halfway through my life here, the way I see it. What am I going to do with the rest of it? Am I going to do what I'm really meant to do here? Am I going to be the creative I'm meant to be? Am I going to be a musician and an influencer of people in a positive way? Am I going to do something that's going to make a difference in people's lives? And so I decided to go back to school then and pay my own way. And it was hard. I mean, I had some help from family here and there, with small loans and whatnot. And even now I owe some money to my brother, which I'm really paying for in the emotional sense, because apparently I should sell everything here and just give it all up and pay off all my debts and get a real job. Well, yeah, I could probably do that, and I'll probably jump off a bridge a year later, because that's how it'll make me feel. And I know how a lot of other people feel, doing the jobs they do. So, there's a side of it that, he's right about, that you have to be responsible and responsible for yourself. But like he told me too, he's in debt up to his ears too, and he's living a life of stress that I can't understand or believe. And that's his choice too. And maybe borrowing, from him was a mistake. But at the time, I needed to get my van fixed so I could do the work I do. And yeah, I could have sold some of the stuff. Maybe that's what I should have done. Because I don't really need all those guitars. I can sell a couple. So the bottom line is, the point of all this, and the point of the studio, and the point of my channel, is I want to make a difference in people's lives with what I'm doing here. I just don't want to be another cog in a wheel, or just another, person out there selfishly going after their own, wants and desires. I want this life to mean something and be something special. And it's not just about legacy and leaving something behind, but it's about influencing and affecting and touching people's lives in a way that brings about love and positivity. It helps them cope, and music therapy is one way, but I do plan on finishing my degree someday. I'll probably have the money in the near future, within the year. That's a different story entirely, but yeah, I should have the money to be able to continue that education in the near future, and then get my degree and actually work in the field and apply the music and all of what I'm doing on this channel to the field. And hopefully the two, how I'm planning it is to have them grow together, right? So combine those two things. And so, I guess I'm vlogging this out there because I had to get it off my chest. I had to talk about it. But I want to encourage other people, don't give up hope, and don't give up. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard to, follow your dreams and go after what you want to do and what you want to be. But you do have to, as, the great William Shakespeare once said, to thine own self be true. And that is an area of my life where sometimes I did not follow through on that, to be true to myself and who I am, and look deep inside. So I hope you all take that time to do that for yourselves too. Take some time to look deep, ask those questions of yourself. What do you want to be in this world? What do you have to give? What can you contribute to make this existence a positive one and help people? If anything I've learned in life, it is that typically the more I give, the more I get. So when I've given a lot of to the world, I've gotten a lot back from that. And I hope this channel is going to be another example of that. But if you can do it on your own, do it on your own. Find some supporters and people, of course, around you that love you and care, that are willing to support you. And go for it. Life is short. So thanks for watching this short vlog, or long vlog. I'm going to put Roxy back into her little cage so I can get to work. Say bye, Roxy. Bye, Roxy. This is Music Therapy Labs out. And oh yeah, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, comment on my channel, share my channel. I'm still trying to grow it to 100 people by the end of the month, which is right around the corner, so I might not hit that goal. But if there was like some mad rush of subscribers somehow, who understood that this was important to me, and that there might actually be something, positive for the world, and maybe even, financially, eventually work towards something financially, then they would all subscribe and stop asking, why do I have to subscribe, and what does it matter, and how do I do it? Just figure it out, Google it like you do everything else out there, people. But subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps me grow the channel. Make a comment about what you think about what I said here. Does it, does this ring some kind of bell for you? Does does this story sound like something you've gone through? We all, as creatives, I think we all go through this, and if we're lucky, we can find a life in this and make money at this and do something good and kind and loving and helpful for people. That to me is what this is all about. So, have a great day. Music Therapy Labs out for the second time, and see you in the next catch up VEDA, maybe later today. Say bye. Bye. Bye.